This week, as we dive into our new series, Build More Fires, we're going to be looking at Moses' encounter with God at the burning bush. You can read all about it in Exodus chapter 3. You see, Moses is an old man at this point. He's been taught about God. He knows a lot. He's made a few mistakes along the way. He even ran away from some of them. But now, he has a new opportunity to follow God. God's finally got his attention. So a few observations that I want you to be thinking about as we lead up to our study this weekend. Number one, we don't start the fire. God does. And so I want to encourage you to be aware of what God has done and is doing in your life right now. So what is the Holy Spirit calling you to do? Jesus tells us what to expect from the Holy Spirit in John chapter 16, verses 8 through 11. And when the Holy Spirit comes, he will convict the world concerning sin and righteousness and judgment. Concerning sin, because they do not believe in me. Concerning righteousness, because I go to the Father and you will see me no longer. Concerning judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged. So two things that I think are really clear in this passage and that have been made abundantly clear through the pandemic. First, we live in a broken world. And the Bible tells us that ultimately that's a sin problem. Second, the judgment of this world, of our society at large, is unreliable. Governments have struggled to find a good balance between quarantine and freedom. And why wouldn't they? If we can remember back to the beginning of the lockdown, many of us, our immediate reaction was to stockpile toilet paper in the face of a respiratory illness. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be absolutely terrifying to realize you've come to the end of the last roll. But really? I mean, if you're still sitting on a stockpile from the beginning of the lockdown, don't feel bad. But we all need to take time to assess our priorities, to fan the flame of our faith. Again, it's not about you or me, it's about our relationship with Jesus, though. And this is how some of the disciples described their encounter with Jesus after he conquered sin and death. Luke 24:32. They said to each other, "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the Scriptures?" In that moment, it clicked into place for these disciples. They finally understood the priorities that God intended for them. And then this new understanding, it held up as they continued to understand the Scriptures. It was made plain to them, and it changed the way they saw the world, and it changed the way that they saw their place in the world. How about you? What has God made plain to you already? Have you taken time to confirm your new priorities that have developed during the pandemic against God's holy standards? You know, I'm really looking forward to continuing this study on Sunday evening. Or if you're not able to join us there, you can catch the recording on Monday. In the meantime, do you have questions? Are you wanting help in understanding God's call, God's plan for your life? If so, you can message us on Facebook, or I'd love to hear from you on email, info@gracepoint.ca. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and God bless.